Hey, what is going on YouTube? Mike here with another video. Now, it's been a while since the launch of the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE, but if you're one of many who are still considering getting this phone in 2025, then you might be curious as to whether or not it's worth it and the kind of specs and features that you can expect from this phone if you ever decide to get it. With that said, we're going to take a look at the S21 FE in this video, and yeah, let's get started. Alright, so it's been around 3 years since the original launch of the S21 FE. It originally launched back in January of 2022, priced starting at around $699 US or 699 pounds if you're here in the UK. It's a lot cheaper now, and if you know where to look, you can probably get it for much lower than the initial price, especially from third-party resellers, from websites like eBay for example. Although since it's a pretty old device, you're probably going to have a hard time looking for one completely sealed or brand new in box. With that said though, it does come with some worthwhile specs, one being the display on the S21 FE. Now it does come with a 6.4-inch AMOLED display with a pretty sharp resolution of 1080 by 2340 pixels with a layer of Gorilla Glass Victus for protection. It does come with a 120Hz refresh rate as well as considerably slim bezels, which makes it ideal for content consumption like Netflix binges or maybe even some gaming. Although in terms of outdoor visibility, it's not the brightest display out there, so you might have a bit of trouble, especially if you're trying to use the phone under direct sunlight. As for the design, the phone does come with a plastic rear panel, which is nicely done. It has a matte finish on it, which does feel nice in hand, and the sides are made of aluminum, which adds a premium feel to the device and keeps it in line with the rest of the design of the S21 series. I didn't really have much trouble using the phone with one-handed use, but compared to the ton of 6.7-inch or 6.8-inch display smartphones out there, it is a lot more pocket-friendly. Now it should be noted that there are two versions of this phone. There's one running the Exynos 2100 processor from Samsung, and another variant which comes with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 chipset. Now obviously the go-to choice would be the Snapdragon version. This is the one that we're using for this video. And yeah, as far as performance goes, there's little complaints here. It'll be able to run a lot of games on the Google Play Store. So if you're looking for a bit of gaming action on the go, then the S21 FE will be able to keep up with most games that you might want to play. It also starts with 128 gigs of internal storage in addition to 6 gigabytes of RAM, and this maxes out at 256 gigs of internal storage alongside 8 gigabytes of RAM. For its battery, the S21 FE does come with a decently sized 4500 mAh battery, and this does come with 25-watt wired charging speeds. Now perhaps one consideration I do have is the battery endurance of the Snapdragon 888. It's a terrific chipset, but there are times when I've had to charge more often than usual. But of course, this will still depend on your personal usage. If you tend to play a lot more games or use data connections and GPS much more, then you will be reaching for that charger a lot more often. For most moderate and casual users though, the phone should be able to last a day without any issues. And yeah, overall it's a solid phone. You get a good looking display, a practical design, a capable chipset, as well as a fairly sized battery. Although one big consideration I do have with the S21 FE is the camera performance. Now the phone comes with a triple camera setup on the rear panel, which includes a 12 megapixel main sensor, an 8 megapixel telephoto lens, as well as a 12 megapixel ultra-wide lens with a 32 megapixel selfie camera rounding out this setup. For most point-and-shoot scenarios, the S21 FE will be fine. It does tend to bump up the saturation as well as the contrast, and while skin tones in most photos will look pretty decent, they sometimes come out a bit lacking. Although if you're only using this mostly for casual mobile photography, maybe for social media, it will be pretty decent for the most part. The same can be said for low light shots, which manage a good enough level of exposure, albeit with some admittedly soft details in images. Video quality looks reasonably sharp enough, and again, for most casual users, this will be fine. But if you're expecting image quality close to that of a Google Pixel, then you might be a bit let down by the cameras on the S21 FE. That aside though, it is a solid smartphone as I mentioned earlier, and it does come with support for One UI 7, which is a nice gesture from Samsung given the age of the smartphone. But at this point, I'm not too sure if it's going to get One UI 8, but again, we do have to consider how old this device is, at least in terms of smartphone longevity. All in all though, if you're looking for a reliable Samsung mid-ranger with a decent chipset, a gorgeous display, a solid design, as well as an all-day battery, then the Galaxy S21 FE is a decent choice. There are considerations of course, such as the overall camera performance, as well as the length of software support, but if you can get this phone for a really low price, then it might be worth looking into. Alright guys, so that does it for this quick video. Let me know your thoughts about the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE in the comments below. Don't forget to check out our other videos. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.